Somebody's gotta go poop. Somebody's gotta go poop. Absolutely beautiful Monday afternoon. It was perfect weather. It's 55, 60. It is sunny, blue sky. Birds are singing. Jeeps are having a good day. Money actually got literally money in our pocket today. That's good. We usually don't have any money. Been married for 20 years. Feel rich when I get a couple stripper bills. I get $3 and I'm all right with that. I got $3 more than I had yesterday. Woohoo! That's awesome. Today is the first day of perhaps one of our best weeks of our stock living, stock portfolio. We have we're gonna do a pretty major shift this afternoon, later on this week, Thursday. We're gonna move from one ETF to another. We are on paper. We're gonna double our yield, annualized yield for the year. We're gonna double that just by moving, allocating some more money over into a different ETF that follows strategy. Used to be MicroStrategy. They hold Bitcoin. So as you know or may not know, I am a believer in Bitcoin. I do believe there is going to be something about Bitcoin in our future as far as the country goes. I have no doubts about that. I also believe in our country's defense, our country's technology defense. I also believe in technology being used for our country, not necessarily in a defensive purpose. But with that being said, I do believe wholeheartedly in the company Palantir. I've been following them since last, I want to say January. Might even go back to late 2023. Which reminds me, Google had their anniversary, 20 years ago? Google, I think, came out 25 years ago, 30 years ago, something. We'll talk about that some other time. We were, I was in business school when Google came out with their Dutch auction, IPO Dutch auction. And I haven't looked up the figure of this to see what I would have made, but I remember telling my stepdad, if I had $10,000, I'd put it in Google today. He kind of poo-pooed. You really don't know what you're talking about. You're a kid. I remember thinking to myself, this is going to be one of those moments in life where you sit there and go, if I woulda, shoulda, coulda. Hey, what's going on, chat? I do not have my glasses on, so I'm going to take away Libby's love. What's going on? Talking about what coulda, shoulda, hadda been. If I would have invested my 10 grand into Google back 25 years ago at the Dodge auction, how much should it be worth today? I don't know. I haven't looked it up, but now talking about Google, I do believe in Google wholeheartedly, along with Apple. I am in the Apple universe, so much like Warren Buffett, I do buy what I know, what I am using. So beyond that, we are leaving our Palantir stake and we are going into MicroStrategy. We're going to follow Bitcoin. There's the ETF out there called MSTY, MicroStrategy something yield. It's a yield max. Comes out of yield max. They got some really interesting ETFs. There was a interview that was done with two of the fund managers a couple of weeks ago. If you look up a guy called Retire on Dividends, ROD, I think his thumbnail with that interview has a picture of the two people, Scott and Jay. And of course, ROD sitting there. It was an insightful interview. If it wasn't for that interview, I would still have my money in Palantir and I still would be happy. But since that interview, I actually was watching it and in and out, and I caught a 2-minute segment of it where I don't know what Jay or Scott was talking about how they did their trades and why they did their trades and what they would do after, you know, they got a certain range of strike price, and it was fascinating. Looks like a dead deer sitting down there. Nope, that's just grass. So we watched the rest of that video a couple times already, and it's just, you know, listen to these people. And granted, they are salesmen to a point. I understand that. They need to make money for their fund in order for them to grow and to make more money. And I understand that as well. But when you look at what they were talking about, bugs are out. And you look at what they were talking about and how they did what they did and why they were doing what they were doing. Just their conviction, their confidence in what they were talking about. And the ease. See the little moths flying over each other? A mating ritual between the two of them. You probably can't see them anymore. Where are we going? They were very confident in the ease of which they would talk about what they were doing and how they were doing it. It is like me talking about how to break down a cow, all the way from shooting it in its head to, you know, taking the last tenderloin out. For me, that's easy because I've done that for quite a while. I am a butcher, I am a chef, so I've been around food for quite a number of decades. But just like Jay and Scott over at Yield Max was easy for me, luckily is not easy for somebody else, everybody else, because everybody could break down their own cow. If everybody could cook their own meal, if everybody knew the combination of flavors that you needed to make whatever, chicken coq au vin, whatever, then I'd be out of a job. I wouldn't need to be a butcher. I wouldn't, because everybody would be back in the Amish land doing it themselves. But much like that with the stocks, these guys have been doing it for decades and decades, and it'd just be absolutely insane for me to try to do it myself without knowing a little bit more. As with butchering, as with cooking, you're gonna cut yourself a couple times, you're gonna fall, you're gonna burn yourself a couple times until you learn how to do it. And then but if they give you the choice of, you know, you don't really have to know how to do it. You can put your money in with these guys and they do what you want to do. And it's pretty interesting. It's fun. There was a person on X that has stocks and gives out stock advice. And they said, you ever talking about, well, I've helped people too. And of course I wrote down there, well, I go with people I trust, people I understand, people that have the same motivation I do. We got a little bit of wind coming, that's nice. It's still wet, man. Oh man, sitting on a big old log. This is so comfortable. They had a log like this up at Lake Superior. I have we are way down south at Lake Superior. Say this is Michigan, we are at the very tippy top of your middle finger. So Lake Superior would be up here about another half hour away. But it's so why pay, why learn, cut yourself and burn yourself and lose your money playing the stock market? And I do mean play, it is a gamble. Nothing is 100% guaranteed. But these guys, Scott and Jay and Rod, you know, they put together a great package. And I got thinking about it. Jesus, look at all these mosquitoes. Good Lord. I got thinking about it and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna go with these guys. I don't think you can see all the. Not the big wood chips. Awful little stuff. There's all mosquito eggs. Yeah, it's. If you look around, this is when it's really wet, when it's the wet season, if we ever get a wet season like we used to. This is nothing but a little swamp. We are walking on the water, on the bed of the lake makes. But we had rain for the last couple, 2 or 3 days, which is nice. It's getting everything green. I keep forgetting every time we come down here to grab a shovel because I want to grab some of these raspberries and take these out in our house. These raspberries aren't good. They don't grow big raspberries, but they are deterrents. That's what I want, deterrents. Those aren't like currants. Nope, deterrent. Still, that's been our thinking for the past couple of days about MicroStrategy and Bitcoin and Palantir and yield max funds and retire on dividends. If you guys ever want to learn about how to retire on dividends or the yield max accounts, I highly encourage you to check out Retire on Dividend. RETIREONDIVIDEND. Retire on Dividend, no S. He's got a Discord channel. He's on X quite a lot. He's got his own YouTube podcast every day, 6:30 or 6, bless you, depending on if he woke up in time or not. But it is a very, very informative YouTube cast he's got, which is very nice. I try and catch it every morning. Sometimes I miss it. Like the other day, I forgot, and it was 8 o'clock, and my YouTube finally went off and said, "Hey, you got a video to watch at 6:30." Well, it's 8 o'clock, fuckers. It's an hour and a half late. But that was what, Friday, and Fridays are a pain in the ass anyways. Those are delivery days, salesman's days, and get all kinds of people show up on Fridays. What do we got? We got one person. All right, one person. I'm going to have you look at the sky because I'm going to try and get a joint out of my holder here. Oh, there we go. All right. We went to Loom. What is this? Deep breath. It's a pre-roll. I love this. Is a little half-gram pre-roll. I can't do a full. Let me take that back. I can smoke a whole gram pre-roll. I just don't. You know, that's a lot. That's like having a whole pizza when you only need like half the pizza to make you happy. So these little half grams are perfect. They last for about halfway home. I mean, I think they would last halfway home if I were to smoke one on the road on the way home. I don't. I honestly don't. I don't get high. I have too much road rage. My lights are too bright. My Jeep is too big for me to be drinking on the road. Like today, fucking motherfucker can't go 40 miles an hour in the 45 zone. So I'm sitting behind him. I got a big Dodge behind me up my ass. And I'm like, come on, guys, let's go. A little Chevy that wasn't from up here. So all of a sudden he starts doing 60. Perfect. So I start doing 60. Then he slows down. Speed up, slow down, speed up, slow down. I pass him. I passed this guy legally. Not a problem in the world. He falls back. And then he's got that Dodge on him. So now he's hurrying up, trying to get up my ass. And I don't turn around, and I look in my rear mirror, and this guy is up my ass. And I'm like, dude, come on. You couldn't do 40 miles an hour, and now you're doing 70? What the flying fuck? So I was like, I had paid no attention to him. I kept it pegged at 65, and I'm just doing what I do. I get to town, and I take a corner because I got to go pick up some chickens, some eggs. Hey, come on. What are you doing? He gets like that, and then he'll start walking out to whatever he's looking at back there, and that's probably a raccoon or a skunk or a fucking porcupine. Goofy ass dog, anyways. Huh. So this guy followed me for a couple of blocks, and I'm, I don't know, 5'10", 5'11", used to be 220. Now I'm around 210. I'm getting skinny as I get old. Losing weight, that's kind of weird. I eat like shit. Well, I eat like a king, and I eat whatever I want, and I still lose weight. I don't know. We got an appointment with the doctor here in a couple weeks to figure out what's going on. Now, the secret with these two fuckers, they have found something because they're quiet. They're sitting with each other, not growling at each other in the middle of nowhere. So as with kids, they are up to something when they're quiet. So my guess is something's dead up there, and they're just having, well, it can't be dead because Ruckus would be in there too. Ruckus is the black kid. Mac is the blondie. Office drama. Employee A is dating employee B. That is against the law. That is not allowed. Nobody gives a shit. Do whatever you do. So, the first date was last night. Well, they went out with employee B's mother and father, and employee C happened to be at the place that A, B were at, having their first date dinner. That took about a half hour of employee number two to come in and start babbling all that happened yesterday, because she heard from somebody's cousin, twice removed, sister, brother, uncle. Oh my good Lord Almighty. Come to find out that's true. So that was quite the laugh. Now here's the problem. We don't have a dog in sight. So I don't know what they're doing. Which is kind of interesting. They are good by themselves usually. But yeah, we went to pick up some eggs today from a local farmer, and he threw in a whole chicken that he just butchered, dispatched. Whatever term you want to use is probably correct. He's getting some chickens. He's got a big family. So he grows his own eggs and chickens, and chicken for meat birds and egg birds. And there was the Sesame Street. What was I going to think? Egg bird? No, Egbert. Egbert. No, Egbert. Engelbert Humperdinck. Jesus, Egbert. Who the hell's name is Egbert? Why does that sound? Egbert. What's Ernie? And what's the other Sesame Street guy? Ernie and Oscar's the Grouch. Ernie and Bert. Jesus Christ. I'm telling you, man, I'm turning 55 this year. My brain has absolutely gone to fucking mush. Jesus. Not really, but it's taken a hell of a lot longer to come up with the easy things, but shit from 20 years ago, bam, that's right there. I don't get it. I don't understand. But that's fine, not for me to understand. So right here we have two deer trails that they are on, so that's what they're doing. They smell deer. And while there's thinking of smelling jar. I remember we were back here. Boys, how did I remember? My wife was here a couple of weeks ago and she heard panting. Not here, across the way on the pipeline. So of course she's kind of skeptical, or not skeptical, but she's a city girl from Lansing, so any panting like that, she thinks she heard it was probably a bird or something. If she heard what she wanted to hear. I was here with the dogs. Today's Monday, Saturday, and we were here pretty early in the morning. Again, we weren't here, we were over on the pipeline. And this is on the other side of the pipeline. The pipeline is up the other side of the hill. We heard crashing, and it was something walking, running at a good clip through the woods, not really giving a shit that trees were in there, big enough to smack some branches down. Being 55, being a vet, I've been trained to be able to hear something and kind of visualize what I'm hearing as far as the size, direction, and whatever else I can gather from the sound. So when I heard that crashing, I kind of, oh, my wife's not full of shit as much as I think, usually. So she did hear something. I was going to say that's a bear, because that was at least 150, 200 pounds, it seemed like, running through the woods. As soon as we heard it, we were loud. I clapped and whistled really loud for the boys, even though they were standing right next to me. I was letting whomever was in the woods know that we were here, so there'd be no confusion as to, yeah, we're here. We don't want to play with the bear. We have seen so far some bear scat. It was a couple of months ago, and we came across a tree that had really deep claw marks from somebody trying to get inside of it, whether it be an old beehive that was in there, or it be animals, or just plain bugs that this guy was going after. It certainly may have been a bear, but the claw marks were definitely a big. They weren't a cat. It wasn't a raccoon. These were big claw marks, at least 1/8 of an inch wide, that were pulling off big chunks of wood. I got a picture of it somewhere. I probably do have a video of it somewhere. I take a video of everything. Goodness. It's funny, I was thinking that today as I was live streaming on the way to work like a goofball. If you really wanted to, and I don't understand why, because my life is not fun at all. I just go to work, come home, get high, go to work, come home, get high, go to work, come home, get high. Yeah, pretty much I record everything. It's crazy. I never thought of doing a morning podcast. I had 690 a couple days ago in the morning. Like, what the fuck? It's dark. I'm driving. I don't get it. But hey, I have a channel, trying to grow it, you know. Speaking of which, your altar, you haven't hit the look. Oh, no, everybody's gone. We're going to get high again. We're going to get some more. So again, you guys have a beautiful day. Have a, yeah, just have a good day. We'll pick up this conversation later.